Springton Lake. Today is Friday, February 26th, 2021. Today is a day number 3. At this time, would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Happy Friday, everyone! I hope that you're all doing well today and that you're ready to finish out the week on a strong, positive note. Today, we'll be following our Friday at-home learning schedule. The order of the periods for today will be periods 4, 5, and 6. Now, during the period that you are normally scheduled to eat lunch, this will be additional time for you to complete work or to connect with a teacher. Remember, everyone will have a break for lunch from 11:40 until 12:30. Make sure that you check your Schoology messages for any notes that your teachers may have sent to you. If you have a meeting scheduled with one of your teachers, your attendance is required. Now, if you've not done so lately, make a point to check Hack. We're at the halfway point of the third marking period, and the end of the quarter will be here before we know it. Make sure that you have no assignments that may have slipped through the cracks, which easily could have happened with all the weather disruptions of the last few weeks. So have a plan for how you're going to take full advantage of your time today during this at-home learning day. With this gift of time, there is really no excuse for anything less than solid grades on your report card. For those of you who get dropped off in the morning by a parent, you may have noticed some increased traffic. Now, I expect that this will continue over the next several weeks. Please make sure that you're ready to exit your car when you arrive at the front of the building. And we also ask that you do this wherever your car stops along the front sidewalk. Please don't wait until your car pulls up to the front door. We simply can't afford to have cars unload one at a time. The more quickly that you exit your car, the more efficiently we'll be able to keep that car line moving. The final session of Intramurals for 6th grade Cohort A students will take place on Monday. Remember, any 7th or 8th grade student who has an interest in playing a spring sport should make a plan with their parents to have a sports physical sometime in the next few weeks. Completed PIAA forms for a possible spring season are due to the main office by Friday, March 26th. Now, as you may have heard from your parents, plans are in the works to offer increased in-person instruction beginning later in March. And while nothing is official, we're expecting to have in-person instruction expanded to 4 days per week. There'll still be an option for students to be in our fully virtual cohort. Now, I'll be sharing more details with you over the next few weeks. Now, for those of you who are currently enrolled in either Cohort A or Cohort B, it's important for you to know that we're expecting you to be in person on your scheduled days. Attendance via Zoom on one of these days is only permitted with an approved reason from our school nurse. Now, as we wind down the month of February, we hope that you've enjoyed our video segments that have highlighted the important contributions of African Americans. A special thank you to everyone who's been involved in this effort. Now, this morning we have a special segment that was created by one of our 8th grade teachers and also one of our 8th grade students. So enjoy today's video.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water.
Noel, and thank you for joining us for Black History Month. And we just heard that song, Wade in the Water. Would you tell me what that was about and what that has to do with your family?
So that song, Wade in the Water, is a song for the Underground Railroad, and it sent a secret message to free the dry land and to go into the river, so that the dogs and the owners of like the different plantations that a lot of the African Americans were slaves at, to pretty much go in there so they won't track their scent while they're escaping.
Okay, and tell us about, you came here to talk about a really specific person that was a part of your family, one of your ancestors. Could you tell us his name and his relationship to the Underground Railroad?
So I wanted to talk about my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. His name was Jordan Kaffner, and he was a slave that worked on a plantation in Virginia, and he came to Media through the Underground Railroad.
Okay, yes. And then I have a picture up here of his grandson. You want to talk about him a little bit?
So this is a picture of my Grandpa Kaffner's grandson, Jordan Bean, and he was born on July 27th, 1878, and him and his wife raised over 11 children in Media, PA, and they also owned properties around Media, PA as well in their time. It was almost 100 years ago.
Right. And tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here.
So this is the map of the Underground Railroad around the United States, and some of the red lines show the different places that it goes through. And you can see a little red line in Virginia, and that's probably how he escaped. I'm not kind of sure about that, but he came all the way to Media, PA, and then he started his life there, and pretty much started his business there in Media, PA through. And he came from Virginia on a plantation. So this is a department store. It's called Snowden's, and it was on State Street in Media, PA. While my grandfather was here, he started a landscaping business, and he owned properties around Media, PA, and he also sowed fruits and vegetables and on some of the properties that he owned. And he also was a cobbler, and he made shoes or fixed shoes, and all his shoes that he created went to this department store called Stonens. This was a department store back in his time, but it is not in Media, PA anymore. I think it burnt down while it was there, so it's obviously not there anymore, but what is in place of Snowden's is Deals, so that has been there for a really long time as well.
Mm-hmm. And tell us about the Chestnut Grove Cemetery, which is in Westchester, and your ancestor donated some of the land for that, right?
Yes, he purchased a small plot of land for the cemetery in Westchester, and obviously it's called Chestnut Grove Cemetery, and it was for any colored soldiers who fought in the Civil War that didn't have family that could bury them in a special place they wanted, so they were all buried here.
All right, and then also he tell us about his relationship to the Glen Providence Park.
Oh, so he also donated the land for the Glen Providence Park, and he also donated land for the Media Providence Friends School. So learning about my Grandpa Kaffner's life also taught me to treat everyone equally, even if one person in the race does something wrong. So even though Kaffner was owned by a white Southerner, wasn't treated well at all. He saw beyond their race, and he saw nice people that stood up for him, and he was willing to help them with business and coming to Media to be free. And just with my father's and his legacy, just to kind of just be able to do anything you want, and you just work hard, and it doesn't matter what you look like or the color of your skin.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that important piece of Black history right here in Media, Pennsylvania.
In March, we have a new theme for some special videos that your teachers have been creating. It's called My Middle School Memory. Yes, some of your teachers will be taking a trip down memory lane to tell you about something significant from their middle school experience. And while we may be way older than you, you'll see that the ups and downs of middle school are something that we all have in common. We look forward to bringing you these new segments next month. And now that moment that you've all been waiting for, it's time for this week's Friday Funny. What do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator. So I was telling my wife the other day that I want to lose some weight. I've been thinking about going on an all-cashew diet, but then I decided, that's just nuts. What do you call a fake noodle? An and impasta. Look for my full-length feature stand-up comedy routine being released later this spring on Netflix. Okay, Spartans, let's do this! It's time to finish the week strong. Be respectful and be responsible by doing what you need to do today. Enjoy the weekend, relax, have some fun, and whatever you do, be safe. This concludes our announcements for today. I thank you for your attention. As always, let's make it a great day. Or not. The choice is yours.